guys, it's ASBYT and welcome back to a brand new video, and today we have another very exciting product on the table. We have the Honor 10. Now, a lot of you guys have been asking for this review. Honor have actually sent me this device, so thanks for that. But as always, it will of course be my honest first impressions. Now, you may also see a couple of other funny little things on the table, and the reason why they're there will become apparent all in due course. So without further ado, let's get this unboxed and see exactly what the Honor 10 is all about. Hi guys, like I said, welcome back to a brand new video. Now, after this unboxing, I'm going to be placing my SIM, which is currently in the OnePlus 6, into the Honor 10. I'm going to be spending some time with it, and then of course I will be following this video up with a review and some comparison videos as well. So if you are keen to see those, make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you're new and you've turned on the notifications, and then when of course I post them videos, you'll be notified. So let's take a look first at the box. You've got the Honor text and 10 in like a light blue, Honor 10 on the side, Honor on the top, and another Honor 10 there. A lot of honors, so shall we do the honors and get this unboxed? Oh, that was really bad. That's one of the worst I've ever done. Before we do that, we're going to take a look at the specs. So this model is the Phantom Blue, 128GB of storage and 4GB of RAM. So this is the Honor 10 phone, and the first thing I've noticed is actually its size. It's a lot smaller than most, so for you guys who want something still a decent size but you do prefer something a little bit smaller, then this might be the one for you. Moment of truth. Heaven, and it's turned itself on as I've done that. How good is that? I press the power button really. Now that I've taken that off, I will just mention that I forgot to mention, you can actually see on here, you might not be able to pick it up, but it does say Huawei on there. So Honor is like a subsection of Huawei. There's no hiding the relationship. So you will see certain things on here that are similar to the Huawei P20. Got one last bit to do. Wow, sticky. Right, so we're going to put that down to one side and we're going to see what else is in the box. Right, so we have the SIM ejector, and we also inside have a case, which is great. Before you get a chance to possibly get your own, you can still use the phone without worrying. Silicone case, pop it on, job's a good one. We also inside have our charging cable, which is Type-C, and we have our power brick, which is, I don't know whether you can see, it says there, we'll get a zoom up, a zoom in, supercharge. So it is fast charging, and I'm led to believe it is pretty quick. I will obviously have more information in my full review. Right, that's all that's left in the box. Let's turn this on. Right, so the first thing you're going to notice is, of course, the display. It's a 5.84-inch LCD panel, 2280 by 1080, 19:9 ratio, and a PPI density of 432. So while it's not the highest, it's certainly no slouch. Now, of course, you do have the notch there, and there are plenty, as we say in every video, that hate the notch. What we're going to do is there is some software available where we can hide it. So if we go into the display, we click on notch, and as you can see, you've got default and hide the notch. If we click on hide the notch, boom, hidden. But you still have the icons up in the top, so you don't lose any screen real estate as such. Whereas obviously on the old pre-notch days of smartphones, the icons would be just resting about here. So it is a little bit of a benefit in my personal opinion. I'm just going to take that back off because I want you to see the defaultness of the defaultness. I do wonder sometimes where I learnt my English, to be honest. Right, so the notch is back, and we of course have a bottom bezel, which is a little bit bigger than some other notched phones, but of course we have the fingerprint sensor there, which is why that is the case. But what's good about the fingerprint sensor is it is actually under the screen. So while it's not an in the display fingerprint sensor, it is nevertheless still under the glass. And what's great about that is that it means it's completely flat, there is no ridge or anything, and you can actually do it when your hands are a bit wet from rain or anything like that. You won't have any problems, which you will find on other fingerprint sensors. So while we're on it, let's give it a test. So I'm just going to set it up now. Now it's actually quite thorough, and it actually tells you on here which part of your fingerprint it still needs in order to register. As you can see here, it's actually flashing now with the top part, so that's what I'm going to do. And now it's successfully enrolled. So let's give it a test. That's pretty impressive. Now, while that's not the quickest on the market, it certainly is one of the quickest, and it's very, very reliable from what I can see so far. Obviously, in the full review, I nearly dropped it. That would have been a catastrophe. Also, if you're not a fan of fingerprint sensors, you can use Face ID as well. So let's see how quick this is. Right, okay, so similar to the iPhone 10, you have to actually swipe up for the Face ID to work once it's clocked it. So it has the same sort of lock feature there, and then it says slide to unlock, and then, or slide to open, and then you do it. So it is a two-stage thing, which I'm not a massive fan of. I would prefer the one-stage one, and I would probably just use the fingerprint sensor in this case, but nevertheless, it does have Face ID if you are a fan. Okay, so the next thing you're going to notice, and this is one of the biggest sort of jaw-dropping moments of this phone, is of course the back. Now, it actually shifts in color. I don't know whether you can actually pick that up here. We've got like a purple here, and then when you tilt it, it will go to like a blue. And this color shift is similar to what you will see on the Huawei P20, except the Huawei P20 goes the opposite way, so it actually shimmers from top to bottom as opposed to this one, which goes from left to right. Now, this phone comes in 4 different colors, and this is the Phantom Blue coloring. There's a Phantom Green, which has 3 or 4 different colors. There's also a Glacier Gray and a black, a midnight black, or just a black, I can't remember off the top of my head. Amongst other places, you can pick this up from Amazon, so definitely go and check it out after this review if you are interested. Also on the back, you will also notice you have a rear dual camera, and the 2 cameras are a 16 megapixel and a 24 megapixel with f1.8 aperture. And you also notice the text up there saying AI camera. And what is great about this camera is that it has AI. Now, this has been a big thing in 2018 with a lot of smartphones. And this is where these 2 little fellas come in. Now, we are going to actually take a couple of photos quickly just to show you. And basically what the AI does, it sees what's happening in the photo you're trying to take, the actual subject, and it will adjust and process the image appropriately to what it sees. So as an example, I have an apple here, so it will hopefully see that it is fruit. And we have a duck here. I'm interested to see whether it picks it up that it is a duck. So this is what I'm talking about. AI photography brings out the color in your photos by intelligently adjusting camera settings based on the subject. So let's just have a go. The green in the apple, it comes out so saturated, which you'll either like it or dislike it. I personally quite like it. It is very vivid. They will make great social media photos, for example. Now we'll try the duck. While we are talking about one of its features, I will quickly mention one other one, and that's party mode, that apparently you can sync up more than one on a 10 and play music across the different devices all at exactly the same time. So if you and your friend or your family or whatever have the same phone, you can get enhanced music volume, etc., almost like a surround setup. While it's a little bit gimmicky, I still think it's quite a good feature. Now we're going to jump onto the front-facing camera. Now this one also has a portrait mode, and the actual shots, again, I'll go into more detail in the full review, but I am quite impressed with that front-facing camera at this moment in time. So this is running Android 8.1, and it has EMUI 8.1 over the top, which is of course their skin. It's not as stock as some would like, but nevertheless it does have a few unique features which you wouldn't get with stock Android. In terms of the processor, it is running the Kirin 970, which is Huawei's in-house processor. It is still a very popular and highly performing one, and so far in the short time I've been using it, it does feel very, very snappy. And again, I will talk a lot more about the performance in the full review. Now the battery on this is another very impressive, lost the word then. It's very impressive. 3,400 milliamp in quite a small form. So again, a very impressive spec. Just continuing around the phone, we have the power button there. We have the volume rocker up and down there. On this side, we have a dual SIM. On the bottom, we have a speaker, a Type-C port, and of course, everyone's favorite topic of the bottom of phones, a headphone jack. We have one of those as well. Next, we jump to the top and we have an IR blaster, which of course is a very rare thing in today's modern phones. Price. Now, this is where this phone is another big hitter, is because the specs on paper are brilliant and the price is 399 UK sterling. Like I said, I will leave the links in the video description below. Amazon, for example, it is on there for just under £400. The comparisons will also be jumping up and down on the bottom left-hand side of the screen now, hopefully. So we'll have US dollars, euros, rupees, and I got asked for Australian dollars by a couple of people the other day as well. So I'll throw that on there as well. Soon I'll just have the whole page full of conversion rates. And if you want to buy and sell money off me to go on holiday, you can do that. So that is pretty much it for now. Like I said, I will be doing my full review in a few days, and of course I will also be doing a lot of comparisons to other smartphones such as the OnePlus 6, the Xiaomi Mi 8 when I get my hands on it, the Asus Zenfone 5, which is over there. This is where I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of the Honor 10? Is it a phone that you are mad keen on? Do you want to buy it? Are you going to swerve it? What do you like about it? What do you dislike about it? What would you like to see them improve? Like this video if you enjoyed it and found it helpful. Dislike it if you didn't like it and didn't find it helpful. Share it with your friends and family if they're interested in getting their hands on the Honor 10 and want to know a little bit more about it. I love you and leave you. I'll see you in the next one. ASBYT, peace out.